Hey all, Instinct Survivalist here. I'm going to talk to you today about different ignition sources, or one of the, you can look at it as the three main ways that I light fires. This time we're going to use jute twine as the tinder, and today we're going to show a ferro rod, solar power, or using magnifying glass if you will, and flint and steel. So stay tuned for that, and we'll get right on it. So one of the first things we have to do is actually process jute twine. Jute twine is a natural fiber, but then the man-made process actually takes and binds it up like that so that it becomes number one, compact. You can buy it in a bundle, and then it actually makes it easier for me to keep it in here. But the second part of that is you need to process it. Now, processing, in my opinion, some people have found an easier way to do it, and after making 3 big old softball size bundles, I found easier ways to do it, faster ways to do it, but it's time consuming. Just like anything, you have to make sure that you are processing your tinder, whether it be cedar bark, whether it be white poplar bark, yellow poplar bark, regardless, you have to make sure that you're processing it prior to actually igniting it. And what it does do in that case is make sure that you get your fire started immediately. Okay, so a lot less time, more time up front, less time in the long run. Okay, so let's talk about processing for a minute. You know, I said at the beginning of this we had to process it, make sure it's processed. And jute twine comes like this. And again, the benefit is number one, it's a cordage. You can use it as such. The other part is, again, dual use, being able to use it as more than just a piece of cordage, using it to light a fire being primary in that case. As you can see, as I actually took and had mine bundled up, folded up, and it fits inside my tobacco tin. When they bind it up, if you will, or twist it up, again, this being the process, the mechanical part of it, they give you three pieces. Three big pieces, I should say. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to undo 1, 2, and you can already see some of the fibers that are coming loose on that. The other part is they've reverse twisted this, and so now we've got to take these three pieces and make it into that bundle. So one way is to actually just reverse twist it, and you see it starts becoming frayed. I can take and start moving it a little bit, and then I pull it apart. For me, if I do it in smaller pieces, it's a lot easier to deal with, simply because I'm not trying to backlog it or that's what I call it, but basically undoing what keeps twisting back on itself. And so that's what I'll look at. So I'll take and I'll loosen up some of this. And for me, I can do it while I'm sitting around doing absolutely nothing, especially if I know I'm going to need it. I'll sit down, take a break, maybe drinking water, and do this to get my fire ready. Again, you want to make sure that you have the process on the front end so you don't have to worry about it on the back end, or when you really need it, I make sure that I have it. So I've taken and I've undone the twists that are in there. Now the next part of this is I want to take that bundle and I'm going to take and really just rip it apart, because what happens is now it becomes really loose. You see more of the fibers are coming, and you also see that it's starting to double in size a lot faster. So if I'm looking at a quote-unquote softball size piece, I'm not having to use a lot of that jute twine. Now keep in mind, it is a consumable resource. We want to make sure that we have enough, and that's fine. Some of you may be able to start a fire with less than what I'm going to be using for this example, but you want to make sure that you've got it processed fine enough. And you can see how I've got a lot of the fibers loosened up and opened up so that I can actually go in and light those. Okay, so now let's go in and actually light these three using those three methods, and we'll go from there. Okay. All right, so for those of you that aren't sure what you're looking for when you get in the store, this is jute twine. I think I got this at Walmart. And you can see if you pull from the inside as opposed to undoing the plastic, it's going to keep contained a little bit better. And you can also shove that back down in there. Some people actually take and put it in a can and poke a hole in the top and just thread it out. Either way is fine. This is the way I do it, just because I can take and it's one less thing. Now the other way to look at it is, if I have it in a container, then I can use that container. So it's another item that I may have at my leisure, should it be a survival situation. But that's what you're looking for. For me, one of the ways I do things on a day-to-day basis, or the way that I start fires, is typically either with a lighter. And so that's kind of the given, right? Lighter is going to go in, it's going to light it, and you're going to be done. The second way is actually with a Ferro rod or Ferrocerium rod, and I'm actually going to do that with this one. And you can see that quick, that easy. I lit it on fire. One strike does it all, and hey, I'm done, right? So that was pretty easy. Let's go ahead and get that out of here. One of the challenges is actually to light the jute twine. It's a softball sized jute twine via solar. So I'm going to use my Fresnel lens, and we'll try to get that narrowed down real quick. What I don't know is if the sun, although bright, I don't know if it's going to be hot enough to do this. So we'll try to. Starting to see smoke already. And yeah, I changed my position, so. That's the other thing about solar, is trying to get to that apex, or to the point where it goes beyond smoke but gets hot enough you don't have to worry about it. The other problem is me moving a lot. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Spontaneous combustion. Alright. So my recommendation for solar, as you can see, a nice Fresnel lens, however you want to say it. You can get these at the bookstore typically. Magnifying glass, you used to burn ants with them when we were kids. Or you can get you a Hudson Bay tobacco tin, which has a magnifier on it. All right, now on to the next one. Okay, so the third way to do this is via flint and steel. Flint and steel's been around forever, for lack of a better term, and the reason is because, you know, as weaponry started being made, people could, you know, strike rocks together, strike a piece of metal to a rock and start it and spark it and what have you. And the benefit is now you're looking at a consumable resource, because if you look at everything we've done, it's resource management. It's a consumable resource. However, yeah, the steel does tend to wear down, and that's fine. You can always buff it up and make it better. And then the chert, or flint in this case, is something that's renewable. Okay, you can find another piece somewhere, whether it's down a railroad track or along the way, or just you know, in some of the back roads or dirt roads. It's easier to find them. So again, you're looking at it, even though it's consumable, it is something that is very easily renewable. Now the other side of this, and you may be wondering, why are you doing this one last? And I'm gonna be honest with you, this one for me is a little harder. I can do it with a piece of char cloth, not a problem. However, with a piece of jute, I have not tried it. I have not tried it with a jute tinder bundle. So we're going to try this together. Keeping in mind that there's mainly two ways to do this with a piece of flint and steel, and I'll tell you about a third one as well. But one is to strike the steel down the flint. So as you can see, you know, a couple of pieces, we'll find a better side for it. A couple of pieces of flint coming off and causing sparks. That's one way to do it. And what that does do is it causes the embers, or the sparks, if you will, to flip up top. Okay, so it's always going in the direction of the rock. Okay. The other side, and I'll switch hands for this because it's easier for me, is to take the flint and go down the piece of steel. Okay, so you can see it's going down the piece of steel, and then depending upon where it's at or how you've got it set, it can cause sparks. And what that does is it goes downward. Okay, so it causes those to go downward. Another one is if you were to take this piece of tinder bundle and stick my knife in it. I wouldn't do it on a piece of stone, but let's say stick my knife in it and put it on a log. I could actually strike the back of my knife and it goes straight down into it as well. So you're not worried about this bouncing around and doing it, but you're actually having a solid place to go in and strike down. If this does not start in one of those other two ways, we're going to try the third way, simply because, hey, you know what? I've got nothing to lose, right? Okay, so let's actually get started with this. First way I'm going to try it, and hopefully this piece of flint has got enough rough edges on it or sharp edges on it that's not going to cause me any problems. Let's see what we get here. There we go. So I can go down, and you'll notice that the embers are going upward. So I can either take my tinder or my little tufts, if you will, of jute twine and put it on top, or in our case we'll just switch it around. I'm not seeming to get a good edge on this piece of flint to give me enough to throw sparks like I want. So let me reach in my bag of tricks. Try one more edge. Let me reach in my bag of tricks and grab another piece. There we go. All right, so you see that I'm getting a lot more sparks going down to it, and that's what it's all about. That's the name of the game, is trying to get the sparks down there. Keep it in mind, you're not hitting this hard. You're not beating the ever-loving crap out of the piece of steel with the flint, but you're kind of roughing the edge of it, if you will, to go down. Now, if you realize, hey, guess what? There's no sparks. Then what you do is you move to a sharper edge. Okay, we'll see if we got a sharper edge here. The other piece of this is keep in mind, I've got glasses on, sunglasses, because I want to make sure I'm not getting hit in the eyes with these with the pieces of flint. That will cause or can cause blindness. So folks, I give you caution to that. Kids, if you're watching this, be cautious. Wear something to protect your eyes, because it will fly up and it can hit you in the face, and more than likely will hit you in the face. It's already been hitting me in just a little time that we've been sitting here talking. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Yeah, so it look like I'm not gonna have any luck on this one. Maybe it's time to go fishing, I don't know. All right, so let's try it the other way, all right? Remember I said one way is to strike downward, one way is to strike upward. So take our piece here, or tuft, and see if we can get us a couple sparks going there. All right, so I've got the sparks are flying. I'm not having any luck. Piece don't work very well there anyway. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to change out one more thing. Go back to my other piece, my bigger piece. Let's see if I can do it that way. And part of it may be that I've been handling this jute, carrying it around for a while. I may have, some sweat on it. I don't know. I wouldn't doubt it. And that could be preventing it from actually lighting. So not having any luck that way. So let's try it one other way. If that doesn't work, then I'm on, I don't know, I'll think of something. So the bad news is when I did that with my knife, ended up messing up the back of it, the spine of it. So that tells me it's a softer steel than I thought it was. And that's okay, not a problem. I just won't do that again. That's probably one of the reasons why I didn't do it to start with. So I'm going to try it a little bit differently. I actually took and spent a little more time processing this, and you know, as we mentioned earlier, processing is key when you're looking at tinder, when you're looking at you know, your entire fire, to do this. If this does not work, just say hands down, we're going to go a different route, and I'm still going to light the fire using the tinder bundle. The difference is I'm going to use a piece of char cloth to catch the ember and then light the tinder bundle itself. Okay, so let's try this. I also broke my flint. I went and took and just literally busted it in half to see if I could get a better striking edge. Say no, that it didn't help at all. That didn't help. All right, folks, so let's I thought I had something there for a minute. All right, so let's do it a different way. I don't know if this follows the rules, if you will, of how you start a fire. Y'all saw my char cloth video. You know exactly what this is. It's a little cotton pad. Let me check my edges, see what we got here. Nope. Probably. That looks like a good one. Alright. And then, as I showed you in the char video, just kind of rough it up a little bit, just kind of get your edges going. Part of it is doing exactly what I was doing with the jute. Is I'll take and stick it right here at the edge. There we go. So for those of you that think that I don't know what I'm doing, haha. Right, so there we go. There we go. All right, so in essence, we have the jute twine on fire, which is good because that's the goal, right? Is to light it. I had to use another resource because I could not light it the way that I did, or the way that I wanted to. Is that a problem? Could be. It depends. And again, if you remember the char cloth video, I said you got to always continually use your resources, continually make char cloth as you're going. And we're just going to push this over to the fire so it doesn't blow out. You always got to go in and use it, or keep creating it, if you will. Okay, so that was one of the big things. Keep in mind, it is about resource management. It's about going in and saying, hey, I have this and this and this, and that's all. What am I going to do? And in this case, I knew in my bag of tricks I had some char cloth. I still have a half of a pad left in there. That's good because it gives me another fire. Now I could have actually taken and literally quartered that pad and done the same thing. Again, this video was not about lighting the char cloth. It was about lighting the jute twine. Ferro rod, which was the easiest. Solar, which was the second easiest, but you are dependent on the sun, so keep that in mind. If it's a cloudy day, you're screwed. And then last was flint and steel, which you saw I had to go in and use a different material and a different resource, so I consumed another resource to make sure that I had a fire. And the reason is because if it's life and death, hey, you know what, going all out, balls to the wall, if you will, I want to make sure that I have a fire at the end of the day. I want to be able to boil water. I want to be able to go in and make sure that I can cook my food, stay warm, and then especially if it's a signal fire. So all those factors took into play in this case, where I just had to go full bore, use what I had, and you know, keep in mind that I know what's in my gear, I know what's in my kit. So that's it. You know, what the main thing was is being able to light jute twine in 3 different ways. One of the ways we had to use a consumable resource. Keeping in mind, if you watch the char cloth video, we were able to go in and start remaking those as we go. So if you've got a suggestion, a better way to go in and light jute twine with flint and steel, hey, I'm listening. Okay, I'll be the first to tell you I didn't know what I was doing. I even said that in the video. I'm not sure what I'm doing. We're going to try it this way. If it didn't work, we're going to try it this way. If that didn't work, we pulled out the other resource. So thanks for your likes, your subscribes, again, your comments down below. I try to go in and read each one of those. I try to at least respond to every one of them with either a thumbs up or a physical reply. So I do welcome those. Let's learn together, folks. This is part of the Bushcraft 101 series. I want to make sure that that you're going in and learning with me, and I'm learning with you. So if you've got information to share, please do. Thanks for your likes, your subscribes, your shares, your tweets, your retweets, your favorites, you know, all the social media aspects of it. Thank you so much for all you do. And until next time, use your instincts to survive. Thanks for watching.